I don't see Canelo seeking out the biggest fights now that he isn't with #DAZN. I see #Canelo taking the least risk, and remaining a promotional free agent. The modus operandi is clear. Please get the thought of a Beterbiev fight off your mind, ain't happening ever. Fact. #boxing.
Now, I played you guys this to show you that everybody knows the rundown with Canelo. You know, people seem to think it's something aimed in towards Canelo and it's personal. You can catch people from all walks of life and they will say this about Canelo Alvarez. We all know it's modus operandi. If you're honest about boxing, you say this about Canelo. Do you not realize the things that has been said about Canelo as far as him picking his opponents? Do you not realize this stuff has been said about Canelo for over 10 years? Do you guys not know that? From the very jump, they criticized Canelo and his opponent. And in 10 years, that conversation has not changed. How could you fix your lips to call anybody a hater when that was the conversation 10 years ago? It's the same conversation now. And like I said, you can take people from all different walks of life, from all different levels in the boxing industry, from outside the boxing industry to inside the boxing industry to your normal just casual boxing fan. Okay, if they're honest about boxing, they all say the same thing. Okay, Canelo Alvarez is a ultimate cherry picker. It's no malice to it. It's no trick to it. It's nothing behind it. You're simply saying what is. And who would ever guess in today's time that just saying what is considered something else than what the fuck it is? Is it not true? Do you not have history? Do you not have proof? Can you not go back in history and look at the articles, look at the people complaining about Canelo Alvarez? And most importantly, Canelo Alvarez is criticized by all his Mexican great peers. Any great Mexican fighter has something critical to say about Canelo Alvarez. If you don't believe me, go back and check the Mexican legends. They have all criticized Canelo Alvarez. So if the Mexican legends criticize Canelo Alvarez, people inside the boxing industry, outside the boxing industry, and people just watching from a normal TV set talk about Canelo Alvarez, pick up opponents, then why do you think it's something more than what people are just saying what the fuck it is? It is what the fuck it is. There is no comparison. You cannot compare the two. I've told you before, you cannot compare Mayweather to Canelo. Notice they only want to compare or use Mayweather names to build people up. But other than that, it's a name used to try to either build you up, and in the process, if they're not using the name to build you up, they're trying to tear that name down. Only a casual fucking fanboy or a fan with ulterior motives, you know what I'm saying, and tribalism would say somebody like Floyd Mayweather is a cherry picker. Pull their card. Ask him who. And watch them sweat. And we already know the main routes that they're going to go, but we've already got logical explanations and vindications for those, and to prove it was an utter lie. Oh, Mayweather's the ultimate cherry pick, this and that. Ask him who. And it will always come back the same shit. He didn't fight a prime Pacquiao. Once again, do we have to go over this over again? He's older than Pacquiao. All the people that they say he didn't fight in his prime, he was older than, minus an Oscar De La Hoya. And as far as Oscar De La Hoya goes, he left Top Rank because they wouldn't give him the Oscar De La Hoya fight. He had to clown Oscar De La Hoya. He had to Teofimo Lopez this dude to get Oscar De La Hoya in the fucking ring. So stop with the bullshit. Everybody knows what Canelo is. And fighting no Callum Smith ain't going to justify years of unsatisfied boxing fans. There's one thing Canelo don't do. He doesn't fight an undefeated, hungry champion. He doesn't fight those people. He doesn't fight those fucking people. People wait this all time just for you to give him a fucking Callum Smith. Come on, that's some bullshit that you should have did on the sideline anyway. That's not no mega fight. That's not mixing up. The Charlos had just been fucking waiting there. But no fuck, Andrade has just been waiting there. for fucking no reason.
Just spoke to Eddie Hearn. He tells The Athletic that talks are ongoing toward a potential super middleweight title fight between Canelo Alvarez and Callum Smith in December on DAZN. No agreement yet, but optimism something can be struck soon.
Now this is the interesting thing. Why would Canelo leave DAZN just to go back to DAZN? Okay? So he just got out of his contract. He just let go from Golden Boy and DAZN. You know what I'm saying? Free agent. Basically ain't got no network to fight for. Why would you do all that to go back to the same people? And once again, we are in talks. We are in talks. I don't want to hear about no fight until something is signed. See, because that's what they do to the public. They'll tell you this and they'll tell you that. It's the same way Bob Arum feeds you. Oh, Terrence Crawford was going to fight Manny Pacquiao. You know, he just tell you that shit to keep you pacified and, you know what I'm saying, to keep your wheels spinning so you don't pay attention to what's actually not going on. Nobody want to hear about potential and optimism. So basically, it's pretty much a rumor because it can't be confirmed anyway. You know what I'm saying? Or even if it's not a rumor, it's something that's just being tossed up in the air. No promises. Like I said, Canelo's going to have a hard time being picked up if he doesn't want to fight any elite fighters. At this point, Canelo is in a position where he's supposedly such a fucking star and such a fucking draw. He can't appeal to nobody on no basic fight level no more. They want big shit out of Canelo. And Canelo don't want to squeeze it out of his ass cheeks. That's what it is at the end of the day. Canelo's not going to get back as far as boxing goes as being somebody of that premier stature until he starts mixing it up with people he need to mix it up with. You know, he need to mix it up with the young lions. Okay? Give one of these young cats the opportunity that Mayweather give you. So you won't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? You'll try to catch a Jaime Munguia super early or something like that or all that. And a lot of people say Floyd caught Canelo early. Listen, let me just say this. There is not one fight that Floyd Mayweather went into, especially a pay-per-view, where you guys did not believe he was going to lose. When he was fighting Canelo, y'all really thought Canelo could beat him. Just like y'all thought Ronda Rousey could beat him. Just like y'all thought Conor McGregor could beat him. Just like y'all thought Eddie Guerrero, the Ghost, could beat him. Just like y'all thought Pacquiao could beat him. Just like y'all thought Shane Mosley could beat him. At the time, I remember when these fights were getting made, you guys was absolutely convinced that this is the time he's going to fall until he wins. Then all of a sudden, they ain't shit. Same thing. Cotto, same thing. The same thing over and over. This is the time. This is the time he's going to fall. He's going to lose. And the problem is y'all never came up with that answer. That's why y'all kept throwing people at him. And y'all still throwing people at him to this day. And he knows that. That's why he baits and plays with you. The reason why Mayweather can announce he's coming back for boxing is because, you know what Mayweather does, and it's actually funny. He dangles his undefeated record at you. He's like, hey guys, it's one more chance to see me lose. Do y'all guys want to see that? And you guys fall for it every fucking time. Mayweather will always make money because he always knows there's people out there who still want to see him lose. They don't care if he's 96 with a cane. He knows if he said, I'm 96 and I'm coming out of retirement, people would be all for it. Because they want to just see him lose. But without getting too far, when is Canelo going to give Andrade that chance? Or Charlo that chance? Everybody talk about him and Caleb Plant. I told you that shit wasn't real, but let's be honest. Does Caleb Plant really deserve a shot over Charlo? I think Charlo would be next up in line. You know? That's just me. Everybody know Demetrius Andrade. Everybody know when he was a champ, you didn't want to fight him, so you definitely don't want to fight him under no other pretenses. It's no bullshitting about fucking Canelo. Canelo, behind Deontay Wilder, and people don't want to admit this, behind Deontay Wilder, Canelo is the second biggest laughing stock of boxing. Low-key, silently. Silently. They would just never trash Canelo as much as they would trash Deontay Wilder. But you know how they love talking about black athletes more than regular you know what I'm saying, any other color athletes. They love trashing them a black athlete. Motherfuckers live for that shit. Motherfuckers eat, sleep, shit, trashing a black athlete. They can't wake up in the morning and make another video to trash a black athlete. So we already know how that goes. You know what I'm saying? You could tell with the attention with Javante Tank Davis get for choking out his bitch and Kovaloff punching out a bitch. They want to talk about this but not talk about that. You know, it's the same old politics of boxing. But it just goes to show you that when people say shit, what they say about Canelo, it's factual. It's factual. None of this shit was ever fucking said about Floyd. Anybody who he ever had, if you won 3 rounds off Floyd, he gave you a rematch. Any question on his resume, he has always doubled back on it and put a statement on it. Canelo hasn't done that with Triple G. Canelo hasn't done that with Laura. Canelo hasn't done that with anybody that he has struggled against. So when it comes to mentality and stuff like that, this is the shit that you got to put into the equation. This is why when you talk about Canelo and Floyd, it's fucking sinful. It really is. And speaking of the Callum Smith fight, why I have no faith in this fight is simply because Callum Smith's manager, I believe it's Gallagher, I might have his name wrong. Him and Eddie Hearn do not get along whatsoever. Period. They've been had disagreements about Callum Smith's career and the fact that Eddie Hearn couldn't deliver on the fights that they wanted. You know, these two has always been at odds. So this is what I take into play. How do you expect me to believe that you can make this kind of fight when Canelo just got out of a sticky situation with DAZN? On top of that, Callum Smith's manager doesn't like Eddie Hearn, and Eddie Hearn has never been able to deliver for Callum Smith what he's been asking for in the first place, which is these super fights. So that's why I have no faith in this shit, and that's why it appears to me just to be some more smoke screen bullshit. Some more shit to spin your wheels so you don't think that the so-called face-to-face of boxing, the person that they chose has been a face-to-face of boxing this whole time, has been just one of the biggest fucking cherry pickers out here. Period. It's the same thing with Vasily Lomachenko. They fed pound for pound #1 better than Ali. They force-fed you that shit down your throat till you actually believed it. Until Teofimo Lopez opened your eyes. Somebody shouldn't have to always shake you out of apathy. Somebody shouldn't always have to slap you across your face, say, open your eyes and look. At some point in time, you are a grown-ass man and woman. You are an adult, okay? Discernment is a must, especially in today's time. So when it comes to what they say Canelo's going to do, what, you can't trust shit until shit is signed. Because like I said, this dude cherry picks at an elite level. His PR rep is fucking like the Johnny Cochran of boxing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm getting real familiar with how this dirty sport really works as the days go on. I just figure out more and more and more, and I grow. And you know what I'm saying? At the eye of the time, this shit just blow my brain. But anyways, that's my thoughts on the Bruce Wayne. I'm out.